Okay, so next up I got some tank cars here to show you guys, and like I said, I got a bunch of these, and I kind of was trying to aim for the LPG style car for liquefied petroleum gas, but I also got some kind of more mismatched cars, and I also picked up two at that hobby shop that I mentioned earlier that was down in North Carolina. I picked up some really nice cars I'll show you here in a second. The first car I got here is an older Ethylene RTR model. This is one of the clay slurry tank cars, one of the 16,000 gallon cars. And you can see I modeled this one, kind of the present day obviously. I added the safety stripes, and then kind of did some stencil modifications on it, and just really focused the weathering on the kale and clay, which is a pretty powdery slurry, and when it's mixed with water, it's kind of well, it just becomes a real mess, and usually you see it just kind of splattered all over the sides of these cars, and even on the trucks too, so that's what I kind of tried to do here. So you can see you got a lot of that clay slurry spillage all over the sides of the car. Other than that, it's pretty clean. You can see there's a little grime starting at the top hatch though, but nothing too out of the ordinary here. Still a pretty clean car. As you can see, I did the kick up on the ends though. That's something all these cars do have. And I really just did the grime on the underbody of the car. So weathered the wheels up, of course, and then did the couplers. On this side, pretty much is about the same. You can see. I think it looks pretty good. Simple car, but wanted to have at least one of these in my manifest. So I think it looks pretty good. Really like that car. Excuse me. Now I also got a pair of potassium chloride solution tank cars. These are also some older Ethylene cars for the 20K acid cars. And the first one back here is Dowx 3885, and you can see with this one I just kind of gave it a light fade, took some of that glossy sheen away from it, and then just focused all of the grime and rust starting at the top of the car from years of service. You can see it's starting to eat away at the paint at the top. You can see, I think it looks pretty good. So all that kick up on the bottom, you get all the rust streaking from the hatch. Added the safety stripes to this guy as well. Did a little bit of stencil patching. I think it looks pretty good though. There's the other side. Nothing too crazy on this one though. Just a simple PCL tank car. So looks pretty cool. There's the kick up on this end and this end, of course. Now the other one I kind of did a little more heavily to kind of give us some variety between the two. This one you can see is a lot more heavily weathered. You can see there's a lot more of the orange rust starting at the top of the car. This one's pretty eaten up. You can see you got a lot of the rust streaking from the stem and the sides of the car. Added the safety stripes to this one and weathered it up. So I think it looks pretty good. This is probably my favorite out of both. I really like this one, how it came out in particular. I think it looks awesome. So there's the two potassium chloride solution tank cars. Go ahead and move these out of the way. Some really nice cars there. Now at the hobby shop in North Carolina I picked up two more Walther's molten sulfur tank cars, and these ones are some that I wanted to get and I think are really cool. These are some patch out cars for First Union Rail, NDYX, as you can see. They're both different numbers obviously, and I got these for a pair for about $30 a piece, which is pretty cool. These are pretty hard to find now because these limited runs on these Walther's sulfur cars are pretty hard to find. So I'm glad I was able to snag these up. But I just added the safety stripes to these and then weathered them up pretty lightly though, not too heavily on these because according to prototype photos they're still pretty clean. So I just did the kind of the fade at the top, did a little rust effect on the top as well, and then did the sulfur spillage, of course, on the sides of both of them. So you got that going, and I think they look pretty cool. So these will be going into sulfur service on the My Model Road. Put them together in a string with all my other sulfur cars. I think they look pretty good though. I really like these, and I especially like the patch jobs on them. I think they just look really, really cool. There's the ends, you can see. You got the kick up, of course. Really, really nice. Go ahead and set these guys aside here. Like I said, really, really like those Walther's molten sulfur cars. Those are really, really nice. Now I got one more 20,000 gallon car here, and this one is for OWIX, and this is an Ethylene Glycol Car. And as you can see, I weathered this one with a little bit more of a fade, and then I got the rust going at the top of the hatch, around the hatch, and then on the very top or the roof of the car, you can see all that's on the top there. You can see it's kind of a faded rust color. Did some stencil patching on the just above the stencil block here on the car. You can see there's a stencil that was patched over, and they re-stenciled it here. Interestingly enough, they put the safety stripe over that fresh stencil, which I thought was kind of cool. So I got the safety stripes on there, of course. Just weathered it up. You can see the underbody of the car is very, very grimy. Looks really good though. There's the ends. So that's another nice oddball car that I have in my collection. I think that looks pretty cool. Really nice car. We'll go ahead and set these aside. Now, I also got one more oddball car here, and this is the newer run of the Ethylene, I think the 23,000 gallon ethanol cars. This one does not haul ethanol though. I think this hauls something else, some sort of other chemical. And this is one of the popular green Procore tank cars. I've always wanted one of these, but I kind of waited to find a good deal on an Ethylene model, and I ended up getting this one for $25, which is a real great deal there. And you can see I did basically with this one, I kind of dulled it down a little bit, and then I did some chalk weathering effects on the top to kind of create those rust, grime effects on the roof. You got a little bit of spillage at the top of the roof there, so it's all corroded now and it's kind of streaking down the side of the car. Just kind of beginning to, though, not too much. Added the safety stripes, of course. Got it to look pretty nice. You can see the nice, really nice fade that this car has. It came out really good. So there's this side, and then on this side, you can see it's about the same. Just a little subtle variation between the weathering patches and stuff like that. You can see it's just kind of starting to streak down the side of the car, working its way down, you can see. But I think that looks really good. I really like it. And there's the ends. You can see the kick up on the ends. Really nice. And the couplers and trucks, of course, are all nicely done up. And you can see the bottom of the car is nice and grimy. Really cool. So I really like that car. These are the miscellaneous cars that I got here. And now the last two cars I have are some real special cars. These are some relatively rare Ethylene Genesis LPG tank cars. These are some of the early blue cars that they got. And the early cars were painted blue, which is pretty cool. And what I did with these was I weathered them off of prototype photos. And as a matter of fact, the first car I'll show you here is one that I did in a how-to weathering video that'll be coming up here soon. Stay tuned for that, guys. And basically I weathered this one off off of the photos, so I added the safety stripes to it, added all the rust spots and kind of the individual rust spots, and then the streaks and stripes coming down from the sides of the car. Even did the patching. And you can see that. You got a little bit of a stencil patch out there. It looks pretty cool. These cars are pretty clean though, so I just kind of lightly weathered this one. You can see the trucks are nicely done, the couplers, the underbody's done. I think it looks pretty good. And on this side, pretty much the same. You know, pretty simple. No graffiti or anything like that. You don't really see too much graffiti on these particular cars, so I just kept this one pretty simple, you can see. But I think it looks pretty good. I'll show you the top of the hatch there. Looks pretty good. And then as we look at the ends, you can see the kick up on the ends. Looks pretty good. The Ethylene Genesis cars, of course, have all that nice detail, so really made sure I made all that stand out on these cars. And like I said, I got two of these, and then this one here is another one. They're both weathered about the same, you can see. About the same, like I said. Just really the grime and more of the emphasis on the grime was around the trucks and the couplers and the underbody of the car, like I said. So I added the safety stripes to this one as well. Did all the rust around the top of the hatch, and I think that looks pretty good. And then here's the other side. So that looks pretty cool. I really like that. I added the stencils for liquefied petroleum gas too, because this one had a slightly different stencil compared to this one back here. So I have that variation with the two cars there as well. But these are the two LPG cars that I got going here. Really glad I got these. I've always wanted some of the blue cars. Now I have some. I think they look pretty awesome. Really like these cars. So I think that's about it for all my rolling stock right there, guys. Like I said, that's my rolling stock buying spree for the month here. So I'm going to try to take it easy. I'll keep my eyes open for some more LPG cars though, but that's probably about it for what I'll be buying. I'll try to be focusing on the LPG cars. Now real quick, I'll show you guys these. These are some cards that I did have that I ended up selling to a guy in Texas. So these will be shipped out here pretty soon. But I showed these in another video where I actually weathered these up, and I showed them to you guys. But these will be going out the door here pretty soon. I got to ship these out, get them going. So some other things that I've got to show you guys here. I'm going to be doing some locomotive projects again here. So what I got is a nice bit of modern leased power. And you can see I got an HLCX tunnel motor, and I got a Furix SD40 3031. Now I already have the 3031, But basically what I'm going to do with this one here in the back, this is going to become one of the CITX units. See, what Furix did was they had, well, I should actually backtrack here. When these units were painted, they were done and rebuilt by GCFX Alstom. And Alstom custom painted these for Furix. Some of these went to Furix and others were stayed with Alstom, and they were patched for GCFX. Now the GCFX units have recently been sold off to CITX, and so what you saw was CITX patching these out. So I'm going to have to remove all the lettering on this one, obviously, redo the number, and basically patch it for CITX. Put a CITX patch on the cab and all that, so and then weather it up and detail it. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this one. Now I have another Furix locomotive, and it's actually here in my projects drawer here, and you can see this one's in the process of being disassembled. This is another 3031, as you can see, so I have two of them. This one is going to become Furix 3044, so I'm going to have to do the detailing and the patching and all this according to prototype photos. So this one will get renumbered and detailed up to match the 3044, which is a Furix unit that's been roaming around here in Ohio lately, so hopefully I can get a model of that going. I'll probably do these two at about the same time. When I get some time off of work, I'll be doing these about the same time. So we'll go ahead and set that back here in the drawer. Now this last unit is one that I'll be working on here. This is HLCX 6112, and this is one that I'll do up hopefully here pretty soon. We'll have to weather it up, do some detailing to it, and see how that goes, but hopefully I can get this going here pretty soon. I'll have to get obviously the DCC for these two, so I can get these done. But these are the two lease units that I just got in the mail today, so hopefully I can get these going here pretty soon. I think they'll look pretty cool when they're done. I'll definitely show some videos of these when they're done, so you guys can stay tuned for that as well. Now a quick update on the work that I've been doing on the Sword bonnet here. You can see I've been working on it lately, doing the patching, and you can see it's been pretty time consuming. It's where a lot of my time has been going into model wise. I've been doing a lot of the fading on it so far to kind of dull down the bright red. Been working on the lettering. You can see the cabs, I think it's on its third stage of patchy weathering. I've been doing this in layers, the patchy paint. Now what I got to do is clean up the striping a little bit and start going back and adding some highlights. Kind of start working on some more of a whitish washed fade, and then do some red patching. So other than that, that's where this guy's at. It's just coming along slowly. It's taking up a little bit more time, but it's a pretty time-consuming project to do one of these war bonnets. I'm just doing it one step at a time. I still got to paint the AC unit box here, Burlington Northern Santa Fe orange, and then I got to finish the weathering all over this locomotive. So hopefully I can get this done here pretty soon. It's been, like I said, hugging up space on my workbench, taking up a lot of time. So hopefully I can get that done. But that's pretty much what's going on here, guys, right now. Like I said, I got all this new rolling stock that I'll be putting in my roster, and I got all these locomotive projects that I got to do here pretty soon. I also still got to work on that Union Pacific -9. If you remember, it's sitting right there under those Walthers boxes right there. So I got to work on that too, and I get some time. So I got a lot of stuff kind of piling up here, and the locomotives are what are the most time consuming. So I got to find some time to work on those, obviously. But that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, I'll keep you guys posted on the projects that I am doing right now. And hopefully we can get some stuff done here pretty quick that I can show you guys. So also stay tuned for the how-to weathering video on one of these LPG cars. That'll be coming up here pretty soon once that's edited. So a lot of exciting stuff will be coming here pretty soon, guys. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more, and take care.